Afternoon tubers, it's Saturday. God, what's the date? March 26th, 27th? I don't know. Late start today. It's going on 12:30 and we're about 78 in the garage. And yeah, that's going. Got out here probably about an hour and a half ago, and it was like 55 in here. So I wanted to warm it up. I'm going to be in here all day. Or the rest of the day, I should say. We're going to start assembling this door panel. I've already cut out for the door handle. We are going back with the standard door handles. If anybody wants these deluxe ones, let me know. But yeah, we're going back. I got it all here with the standard door handle and the latch and everything, so we'll go that route. Still got to drill the bottom holes for the mounting screws. We've got to locate those. Finish putting in the rest of the catches. This will only go on temporarily. There's two reasons: to get it out of the way and to mount the speakers, so we can finish the stereo install. They'll come back off for us to put the windows in and to do the Dynamat on the doors. So, when I get more, I'll turn this back on later. Hey tubers, the heads of the screws came out okay. They're all dry. Set them up. So that's good. Let's see, get this. Speaker wire has been run. It is all the way. Bear with me. Here it is, all the way to the crossovers. Hasn't been tied in yet. So, that was a fun chore to do. So that's done. Next up, we'll measure these holes and transfer them to the panel. I got a straight edge here because the holes are all in line. So we'll get these two. Let's flip this over. We'll get these two, and then we'll be able to line up the straight edge and get this one, and then get that one. So when I get more, I'll turn this back on later. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. So next up is to sit there and place it in the door. We drilled the holes for the bottom screws. We got to flip it over and put the catches in, but I don't want to do that yet because I want to check. It seems to be fairly tight, but I want to check because the screws are hanging. Let me flip it up because see, the screws are hanging down. That might hit the skin of the door. So I want to check that first. So we'll pop it in and check. I did cut a hole. Where is it? Right there. Hold it. Let's pick it up. Right there in the speaker bucket, so I can get the wiring in. So, but it seemed to go together pretty good. I wanted to put it together here before I did it on the car. Before I did it on the car, to make sure that it would go together, and it did. So now we'll test fit it and see if we need to do anything with the screws. And if so, we'll get the Dremel and cut them off, and then chase the threads and clean them up. So just plucking along here. It's getting a little late in the afternoon, so we might have to stop sooner or later. I still got to cook dinner tonight. So when I get more, I'll turn it back on later. Well, Pat just left, and he and I were talking. There's a provision to where I can mount the tweeters right here. This cone unscrews. They give you provision to sit there and mount the tweeters right there. And he had a very valid point. He sat there and he told me, he said, Dad, you're 70 years old. You work close to 8 years on the flight line around jet aircraft. Your hearing ain't what it used to be. Actually, he says your hearing isn't what it is. That's why the TV's so loud in the TV room. And he said I would put the tweeters there and be done with it. And so he said, and if you don't like them down there, he says, you always got the pod ones. You can sit there and put the pod ones in on the A-pillar, like we have sitting, the pod sitting right there, and come back and do that. And he says, you're not out anything. So I'm going to stop for tonight, and I'm going to give that some thought tonight, and might drink a couple of beers, watch a movie, and give this some thought, and get back on it tomorrow. I got Sunday's chore day, so we'll have to see, but I'll think on this. So everybody have a good evening, and we'll pick this up on Sunday later. Evening, tubers. It's Saturday night, and I went ahead and did one. That's the tweeter in the center. You end up doing this into the speaker. It's threaded, and then this goes on. It's screwed onto the back of the tweeter with the wires coming through here, and this is the cone that you could see that screws out of the center. So I think I'm going to go with this. I think Pat's absolutely right. It's that they're as old as I am and as bad as my hearing is. I'm not going to tell the difference whether the tweeter is up in the pillar, but however, that leaves me the chance or the opportunity come down the road that I can add these and put the tweeter up there. So I think Pat's suggestion is a great suggestion. So I got one done. These are the wires for the tweeter. I got one done. We'll pull this one back. First we'll test fit the panel, and then see if we have to trim up any of the screws or how it fits, and then we'll convert this one over when we get ready to do the right door panel, and we'll go from there. So this is going to be it for tonight. I want to watch a movie. I'm going to pop open a couple of beers, and I got a old DVD I've been dying to watch, and that's what we're going to do. So we'll pick this up tomorrow. It's Saturday, Sunday is chore day around here, but if I do get out here, I will turn the camera on. Y'all have a good evening. Later. Morning, tubers. It's Monday, March 30th, and that's the time. That's the temp in the garage. And Saturday night I did put the tweeter, in the middle of the speaker, and so I think we're going to go this route. I like Pat's suggestion, and if need be, I come back and I can always add the pods to the A-pillar. So we'll do that. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead. No, the clock's going off. We're going to test fit this and see how it fits, and then if it fits good and I don't need to trim the door anymore, then we'll pull this back out, take this speaker out, and run the tweeter wire, which I have sitting right there already, and get it all set and put it in, and move on to the right side. So when I get more, I'll turn this back on later. Alright, we test fitted the door panel, and I had to trim this here off. Did it in 2 shots. First it was, this little piece was into the basket, and then it was more of this to get it down. Yeah, eye protection, ear protection, all worn. But yeah, so now it fits. So now we'll disassemble it, take it all apart, put these back on the back of the door, and get the panel in there, and then feed the speaker wires through, and put the speaker on. So, and I have one built already, so we'll use this one. And then we'll build this one up with the tweeter right in there, like this one is. So when I get more, I'll turn it back on later. door panel's on. Made one mistake. See the felt around the door handle? That's supposed to go on the inside. But speakers are in. All the fasteners are in. This is just temporary. 2 reasons to keep it from floating around in the garage, and plus it's holding the speakers. What is that? That paper, that tar back paper that goes, it's like a waterproof member that goes between the, oh, let me back this out, that goes between the door panel and the door itself. Well, Classic Industries didn't have it, or I didn't find it in the catalog, but Rick's Camaros did, and so it's coming. The bad thing about that, it's coming from Florida. So the door panel's got to come back off. I know it. And so when it does, we'll put it back together right, and then we'll punch out the holes for the armrests, and hopefully I got those by the time when it goes back on for the last time once the window's in. So, and also now the passenger door panel, and I got to take those out. All these here, we'll put the middle ones in. We'll test fit it and see how this lines up with the hole that's there, see if we got to do any trimming, and then we'll pull it back out. I still have to put the tweeter in there, so we got that to do, and that's about it. So next up will be the passenger side. So when I get more, I'll turn this back on later. Alright, the passenger side panel is in, and let's see if I get you down here. And you can see how much of the hole I gotta mark out. We gotta trim. So it's looking pretty good. And we gotta mark the lower holes yet too, and everything else. So it's gonna be a while marking this thing up, so we know what to cut and where to drill and so forth. So that's all for today. It's what, going on 4:35, and there's always tomorrow. So everybody have a good evening, and we'll pick this up tomorrow. Later. Hey YouTubers, it's Tuesday night. Didn't work much on the car. We had other things to do in the house. I did get the, as you can see, the wires run and the hole has been trimmed. But now I got to move the car over so I can get the passenger door open all the way. So hang on. Alright, this should get the door open. Yeah, okay. Room to spare. Alright. Alright, we'll pick this up in the morning. Later, guys. Hey, tubers. It's Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday, April 1st, April Fool's Day. Alright, got the door panel on. I started I didn't turn the camera on. I got going on this and I just kept going. So, door panel, wire up, put the speaker in, wire up the speakers, finish screwing in the bottom of the dash panel. Then we're on the antenna leads to bring those up. And if you can't figure it out by now, the last thing I'm doing is sitting there and fitting the basket and getting the deck in. I want to get everything done up to that point. So the door panels are coming back off. Will come back off again. I got to put windows in and window regulators, and then I got the paper Dynamat's got to go on, and then I got the waterproof membrane that goes on too. So when I get more, I'll turn it back on later. Hey, tubers. Speakers in. So next up is wire up the speakers, the tweeters, and the mid-range. We get that done. Then we're on the screws on the bottom of the dash. And then from there, we bring the antenna power leads and everything else up to the front. And that'll conclude most of the wiring. And we can finish getting the basket installed and then put the deck in. So when I get more, I'll turn it back on later. Got the antenna lead up here for the power antenna. So yeah, this thing needs to be vacuumed out. Put that up there. But got the crossovers wired in. Oh, hold it, let me put the light over. Yeah. So the tweeters and mid-range are all wired in. And so that's done. So, oh man, and I got a crank in my neck, beats the band. Next is these screws under the dash. I don't know, can you see it? Yeah, and the dash needs to be wiped down, but the next one goes right in there. So, so I'm going to take 5, get this crank out of my neck. Oh, hold on, let me grab this, shut this off, and get this crank out of my neck, and then we'll start on the dash. Oh man, that hurts. So more in a minute, later. Hey guys, got the screws in underneath the dash. There are a total of 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, and then 1 in here, 4, 5. You can see that one, or can you? Yeah, you can, there it is. And then there's that one. And then there's that one, and then that one. There, 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 and there, and there. So, that was fun, to say the least. Let me back this thing out. So, now, electric antenna. Still have to brace it. There's a drain tube that's supposed to go in, but this, I'm not going to be too worried about that because this car probably will be in the rain 0 amount. But man, could they make the wiring a little bit any bigger? Jesus. I gotta take it inside and look. So it's going on 5. Man, what a day out here. Finished mounting that, got the speaker in, did all the wiring, everything, got the dash down, so that takes care of everything there. Get the antenna done, which will be tomorrow. Should take us tomorrow to do it, and get the wiring up front and cut the hole, get the hole bigger for the basket, and we'll be sliding the deck in. Okay, anybody need any? Actually, I got two different types. This one I took off because I was going to mold, and this one's still on. So I have those if anybody wants them. I have the deluxe door handle set for 67, 68 Camaro, or is it just 60, 68? I don't know. And then plus these speaker pods. This little tweeter pod I'm not getting rid of. That's the one that came with the set. I'm going to hang on to it. So, in case I don't like the way it sounds with the tweeters down there. But like Pat said, I'm 70 years old. I spent almost 10 years on the flight line working on F4s. And plus the concerts I've been to, my hearing ain't the greatest. So, we'll call it a day. Everybody have a good evening. Stay inside, don't go out, and we'll pick this up tomorrow. Later. Good evening, tubers. I decided to come out here and putz with this a little bit. But I did find out this is ground, the black one. Red one, you hook up to a positive power source. And the green one is for the signal. And I realized that I could probably do all this wiring right here in the trunk, because the amplifier receives a signal from the stereo to turn it on, so I could T-tap into that line, and the battery's right here for this. But if you remember correctly, when I wired the car, I took added precaution, is I got a 50, I think it's a 50 amp fuse right there that I could pull this power in off of, so at least it's off a fuse circuit. These are the only hot really coming off the battery, because they go over to the ECU, and it's on its own, it has a fuse there. So, well, I'm kicking this around. I want to see if the deck I brought has two signal feeds, if it has one for the amplifier and then has one for the deck itself, for the power antenna or some other device. So I'm going to read that and kick this around, and I think it's going to be a real quick and easy job. Everybody have a good evening. Later. Morning, tubers. It's going on 10:30. I had some other stuff I needed to take care of around the house, and we're almost 70 degrees, probably about 68 in here. Leaving the garage door closed. It's very windy out, and won't turn on the heater because 68 is comfortable in here. Looked at the wiring schematic for the Jensen deck, and where is it? Right here is a blue wire that's for the power antenna / amp. So I gotta find this wire coming off the amp, and I'll T-tap it then with for the antenna. So there is only one. I was hoping there'd be dual, but there's only one for the signal. So I'm thinking I'll have to find out which wire it is, and then we'll route this green one over to it. I think we'll just come over to here and then tie it down. Power, I think what we'll do is, let me get the flashlight here, is we'll tie into that for the amp, on the one side, so we'll bring the power down with that, and then the ground will just attach to there. So all my wiring is going to be in the trunk then. But first, there is a brace that needs to go from the bottom of the antenna over, and that's this. And I don't think it's long enough for what I have in mind, because I'm thinking of going from the bottom of the antenna, which is right here, over to here, and that'll sit there and stop it from moving around. So, but first we'll need to take a look at it. So, got a few things to do, and then we'll jump on this. More when I get something to show you later. Alright, we took the antenna out so we can put the bottom mounting bracket on, and I twisted it 90 degrees so we'd sit there and have a chance to sit there and mount up to that, the hole right there on the inner fender well. So what we'll use to attach it will be some good old plumber's tape, but we'll take it and we'll twist it to put some strength into it. So we'll just have to see. So we'll put it back in, and when I get more, I'll turn it back on later. Hey tubers, ran into a little problem. This is a lot smaller than this, and it's already started chipping the paint, which just has me pissed off, but it is what it is. But yeah, I had it just setting in before, and so I think what we're going to end up doing is, hold it, let's see. I'm not worried. I got to still hit this car with 3000 grit and finish buffing it, but I could drill this bigger. Yeah. We'll have to see. I don't know. So that's what I'm stopping right now. I got to think about this, or order another antenna. And I don't want to do that. I wonder if they all come this way. So, but let me think on this, and when I get more, I'll be back. Actually, no, scratch that. This was going to be the end of today's video, and I'll go ahead and load it up because I got a live show tomorrow, and I'll be probably thinking on this for a while. We're going to put a link in there. Gary finally made me my emblems for the cowl induction. Remember, we're going to get these made. Gary was going to make them. I'm going to send them to Advanced Chrome Plating, and we're going to stick them right there on the cowl. And Gary just finished them off. I'll put a link to his video and where he did these on the end of this video, or in this video, or in the comments somewhere, wherever you put the links. And we'll do that. So, yeah, this is sort of depressing on the. I was on a roll on getting this done, but this is sort of, we'll have to figure this out and see. It is what it is. So I want to thank everybody for watching, subscribing, and of course leaving comments. And live show tomorrow at 2:30 Vegas time. And probably be back on this on Saturday. If I do go to Amazon, I'm going to have to sit there and find out. I'm going to have to verify the hole. That, because this is the original hole in the car. This is factory. So I'm just going to have to think on this. I think the washer might work, but we'll have to play with it and see. So when I get more, I'll turn this back on, which will probably be Saturday. So everybody have a good evening. Later.